Hello everyone and welcome back to Epic 40, the Euros of grassroots esports. Back to Valorant, back to another game, and alongside Steph, of course, me Midden. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good, right? Well, I mean, last game, if ever you saw that, was quite an interesting spectacle, but we're going to reset again, get a brand new set of teams up and just enjoy ourselves in the process.
Yes, certainly, certainly. So how did the actual last game go? Because I didn't quite catch it.
13-1 to Chicken Coop.
Okay.
I believe. I think Chicken Coop or Hello Kittens. Either way, just lots of process. But don't worry, two brand new teams, of course. VEXED and SKELP Esports be on our screens for the next portion of the hour.
Fantastic.
And vetoes, I believe, have just been completed. Unless I'm completely wrong. I think actually... Right, okay, yeah. Don't worry.
Yep.
Vetoes are in the process. But how are you anyway? Go on, tell me what's been going on.
Brilliant. So this morning we did a couple games on Bind from between K10 and SKELP, and then Control versus... Oh gosh, I can't remember. But Control won. They dominated. Yeah. Same with SKELP. They absolutely smashed those games out. 13-3 and then 13-1. So we've seen an absolute landslide so far. Especially with your one as well, 13-1. We've just seen some landslide games, so hopefully we can get some more balance.
Definitely some interesting sort of spectacles, but I mean, albeit right now, with what we're seeing here, Haven looks to be again played as my second Haven of the day, but
I see.
More or less though, it's against two teams that definitely do have contention in this tournament, at least in playoffs. But albeit now, we are just sort of having a more picturesque feel to it. I think Haven thus far. In the last map, we witnessed quite a lot of variety. So heading into this one now, I'm expecting a lot of discipline and maybe some mirror competitions too. Yes. There's not really you can sort of pick and sort of prod from these two teams, but definitely two that look to go on and make a good run in this tournament.
Yeah, Haven's one of those maps where you tend to see mirror comps. You just tend to see that like sort of standard.
Yeah, I agree.
Composition. We're probably going to see that again from Haven. Is that what happened in the one match earlier?
No, we saw Deadlock and Reyna.
Oh, okay, so...
That's why it was 13-1. I'm not going to point too many fingers, but that was why it was 13-1. That's why it turned out the way it did.
Any map with a deadlock, really, is a bit of a tough one to win. But, yeah, it looks like we're heading into Agent Select right now.
Okay, so far, again, some standard picks here. I think right now VEXED are going to go for maybe an Omen as well as the last. But typically as well, Breach coming in as Initiator, not too bad. Double Initiator as well, Sova. But SKELP Esports, though, again, are playing a lot more defensive-minded here. Two controllers, both which in the Viper and the Harbour. Yep. Just looking to these section areas of the map and create close quarters combat to really let the Sky and the Jet thrive.
Yeah, using those double walls to allow the Sky and the Jet, like you just said, to really play off each other, is the main goal of using that double wall composition with the Viper and the Harbour there. Whereas we're looking at VEXED, sort of a more classic approach to the Haven composition with that Omen, Breach, Jet, the dash flash combo to get into the site, Killjoy to lock it down. Yeah.
100%. I think right now, though, we are looking towards these teams here and just starting on the sides alone. VEXED right now on defensive. SKELP, of course, in attacking for the first portion of this match. And thus far, again, here, just some very standard buys. And ultimately, again, it's a Ghost classic combination. A Light Shield thrown in there, too. But although exciting stuff for you to get started for this map.
Yeah, that Light Shield buy from Kings, that just allows him to get his Paranoia and his Teleport in that first round, so you've just got a little bit more util options available for the controller there.
Albeit though, you just look towards these two teams anyway and just sort of how they plan to predispose, because we mentioned SKELP again are playing a much more defensive-minded composition. They are playing for close quarters combat and just static pushes, whereas VEXED are looking for all that aggression. And already meeting here on the east side of the map here, A is looking to be highly contested, aside from the wall going up and even as well a stun going out too. Both teams are just shuffling towards the edge, just crossing the line here. But as we're seeing, the trades collapse onto themselves. SKELP, though, have the 3-1 advantage, making it a fourth. VEXED, though, just running into a complete collateral and now sacrificing 4 lives there. And Petals, who's all well on the left side of the map over at C, now has to make a commitment towards a 1v4. But that's too clean. The third as well. But don't get too far into your horses. One player left. Spike is down on C. We did see it drop. But to kick things off in this first round, Mighty Joe has the hunt for one. But no, Petals, I think, just spotted. Just spotted as well. But looking at it, it wasn't enough. Both caught with the knife out. Both caught with their pants down. Simply to be, SKELP there get the first round just by the skin of their teeth.
I really thought that Petals could actually take that then. They left in a completely, almost unwinnable situation of a 1v4, but they managed to find those headshots just by isolating those fights.
Definitely. I think
quite an approach for Vex to take. Took quite an aggressive approach on the A short there at the start of the round, but didn't quite work out for them.
So in terms of competition, though, what's your sort of look here right now at this current stage? So the first round's gone through. What's sort of the mindset towards these two teams and their decisions right now on score in the bye?
Well, I think, like you said, SKELP are probably going to have to play a little bit more defensive, even though they're on the attack. But
still, those shots are going through, and SKELP, though, are starting to get very, very flustered by this aggressive push through mid. Vex, though, want to just try and punish as early as possible, but Sharpie with the first blood drawn, really opening the lane of fire and the engagements to B. Now, though, again, as contact shifts towards A, Hard Wall comes in as well, fencing off from top heaven all the way through now to the first choke point on the north side of the map. Mighty Jodo finds Haz, and then Sharpie again just adds to the tally now, 2v5. SKELP, though, finding lots of comfort in the gunfights early on, and still very positive outlook as well. They can isolate these last two duels from the molly and from at least the last bit of information gathered from the last clearance check. Vex, though, enjoying it. Just a little bit too much. Passive, though, but what can you do? There's 5 players hunting you down. SKELP have overloaded the site. Got the spike fully in control. At this point now can just scare along for even more pressure. We're looking for a flawless round here. We're looking for complete domination. The SKELP add to it again.
That's exactly what SKELP are looking for. That flawless round, just keeping all of their weapons, heading into that third round with Vex getting their bye. Vex were playing that nice and smart, just keeping their, keep close angles while they don't really have any weapons on them. Just trying to take out as many as they can. Didn't actually get to find any, but I think they played the way they should have done. It's just unfortunate they didn't get to find any picks.
Interesting as well, because now we're heading into the bonus round. A lot on the line here.
Yep. A lot on the line for Vexed. If they do actually lose this round, their economy will be in a bad position. Currently, it looks like they did actually force, so they're actually going to be on light armor buy for their rifles. So not optimal, but it's winnable. It's winnable. They definitely have the gun advantage. We've got a couple rifles in the hands of SKELP. We've got 2 Bulldogs and a Guardian. So they can go toe-to-toe with those Vandals if they land those headshots. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a difficult one for SKELP.
Absolutely, but I think in terms of SKELP kind of pitching and panning, I think they're just going to play at least for lots of long-range engagements with weaponry at hand. But albeit again, they have got opted for a much rather aggressive push here onto A. Vex just looking to at least get information early. Luki there just hiding behind a wall. It will have to be at least a clear check now for SKELP, but with 1 coming in, it only equates for 1 either side. Lu, though, despite going down, can just play around, although SKELP, though, looks to try and reacquire, or at least reacquire a spike and gather it somewhere else.
Yeah, so now we're just looking at SKELP are just going to play a little passive and safe, just towards A sewer, just scoping it out, just seeing if there's anything around. Vex just playing safe, not doing any peeks, just smoking it off at A sewer, just making sure that no one's going to be pushing through. And it looks like SKELP are actually rotating back towards B, potentially for a hit.
I think that's probably the logical choice at this stage, but Sharpie catches 1 lurking player. The island has fallen now for the side of Vex. Has now got 2 players after live in comparison to SKELP's 3. But still, though, just looking to try and play the angles well. Haslo has a good read. Mighty Jodo gets the return. All on the Molotov. But still, though, as Flash comes in, Luca has just played the entry to a good timing, but that's a wonderful swing there from Sweeney. A bait and switch where Joe can clean up, and now we have bounced 3 on the row for SKELP Esports. And it's looking to be, thus far, a beautiful game of Haven played by SKELP.
Yeah, really well played from SKELP there. Managing to upgrade their weapons, not really having to invest a lot economy-wise. Like we said at the start, they only had a couple just sort of like cheaper rifles, and they've all managed to upgrade to Vandals just by playing off each other there nice and well. Honestly, yeah, Vexed, they were playing safe, but they just lost their angles and lost those fights, getting crossed at the end there. Yeah, unfortunate for them.
Still, though, again, we are looking at SKELP here just on the attacking side, really thriving thus far. It is to note that Vex are on a bit more of an awkward spot being on defensive, because there is much more responsibility to handle in the short space of time that you have available. But these windows and margins for error are what define these two teams, and just who will come away with victory and round robin thus far in day 1 of Epic 40. Still, I mean, the setups are slightly changing around. SKELP are looking for at least some form of entry into Garage, maybe to B. They're more or less reading the pressure first of all, which is a good change, an adaptation from the previous rounds against Vex, because Vex just love to swing, love to rely on at least the first camera, the first opportunity to peek before. And it rewards them again, because the first bloods have swung their way for the last 3 rounds. I think at this point now it comes to adjustments. Vex though can just play off of what intuition they have, despite the monster going off as well. Dog catching information, Sharpie there, rewards for kill. Now again, looking towards this, a wave crashing onto C site, but swinging at the outside. SKELP managed to find 3 kills there, with House being the last one to drop. And now the 1v5. It's all going to be surmounted onto Luca. But still, one maybe in consolation.
Yeah, just like, and SKELP just played that so well. They're just waiting, just taking it slow, waiting to see if they can find any picks. They did manage to find them. Just waiting outside B, just looking for Garage. They managed to find that kill after using that Trailblazer just to check who was around the corner there. And SKELP finds that final kill from him. Gogs finding it on Luca. Getting that 4th round for SKELP.
And definitely, when it comes to sort of like the, sort of like the story of these two organisations, one of the best organisations in England and one of the best organisations in Scotland, arguably the best in Scotland, going head to head here right now. It's a classic British derby, and it really has got a lot of marbles in either or pot. Lots of fans from either or will be involved in this one, just keeping an eye, because it's more of bragging rights at this stage in the tournament, but
yeah,
it definitely would be a nice one to get early on.
Yeah, just trying to win as many points as you can during this group stage. Especially SKELP, they did perform quite well at the last Epic LAN 39. They did very well, and I think they're back to prove themselves and try and win this round.
And I can definitely imagine one or the other. There's lots of favourites in this tournament.
Yeah.
Big 40 has brought a big force for Valorant and every bit of FPS here, live in action. But thus far, Vex again here, just playing a lot more static as well. Look at this wonderful spread here across all 3 sites.
Yeah.
Population there just to make sure you know that either or information is given away and that they can force an overload from rotations between sites. Try and cancel out any sort of pressure that SKELP might apply. But early on again, it's the same sort of strategy. An immediate push into way. Defense got full choke points, but the wall's a bit too deep. So you can see potentially any form of lower peak. But at the same time, do you really want to risk it early on? No. Mighty Joe finds the first air onto King has. It opens up the complete north side of the map here, and the rush and the collapse of Vex is fast. It is critical. It just allows a good form of fight to take place. Although a trade goes in the kill feed, you are looking directly at how it pans out. And now SKELP, although they pushed all the way back into their box, the gunfights lined up. It resulted in the round win with 3 to spare.
Yeah, it looks like their defense just kind of collapsed in on themselves there. There wasn't a lot to do. And yeah.
I think, though, when it comes to Vex, when it comes to SKELP, they just... it's definitely sort of an outclass right now. SKELP really have got a comfortable footing thus far in this game. 5 rounds back-to-back. And the economy as well has been rewarded. Look at this right now. We have a complete full buy as well as 8k in the bank to spare.
Yep.
Vex, again, though, are just sort of piling on pressure and pressure and pressure. A new tactic has to really sort of come into effect here.
Yeah, and it looks like SKELP are actually taking a different approach to this round. They're just really aggressively pushing C, and Jet's dashed out onto the site, seeing if he can find the Omen. But actually, Kingcast finds the kill onto the Jet. Zella finds the kill on Petals.
And now full control goes towards SKELP. Site is taken with spikes already planted. Vex are forced all the way back here in the north choke point and trying to just collapse into the site for the retake, which has favoured them. Now, SKELP, originally having every opportunity there to get a plant down, has faltered. It was just a quick exit there, all the way from Jet, and Breach there applying the stun. It's just good teamwork, and SKELP's original strategy there to get the spike down was completely flatlined. Now Mighty Joe left in the 1v3.
Yes, we're looking at Mighty Joe just trying to take the site, but we're looking at Luki. He's got the Blade Storm, he's got the angle, but he does dip back around the corner, looking for all 3 members peeking at the same time just to make sure they take that advantage and secure the round for Vexed.
Absolutely. Good positive reinforcement as well. I would say that Vexed right now, especially with the sort of arsenal they had against SKELP, they can't afford more rounds at this point. It has to be decisive and it has to be quick.
And that win has enabled Luki to get an operator online, which might be able to turn the tides against SKELP and put some rounds back on the board for Vexed.
It will, but albeit with the credits available and how important that obviously will be now, knowing that he can't afford another one or have opportunity to for the next round for anything. Very passive play, we hope. Or at least if he is getting aggressive, it needs to be supported. And Luki now just playing for one sort of spot here in mid, although it was slowed to perfection, especially from the side of SKELP, because they just apply a turret and they get out quickly. Now as all the utilities thrown onto both entries from mid and through garage, it's going to be a slow push. But through the wall, Lou, though, is just playing for information. Already calls out 2, and therefore now SKELP are just adopting now to just play all pressure in B. They have to at least get the kill, get an entry frag, which they do, to comfortably apply the pressure now on the other two choke points. And that right there is when the speed comes in, utility's thrown either way, but still SKELP in full control of the state.
Yeah, SKELP have full control of the site, and it looks like Vex are looking to come back through. That Reckoning doesn't quite stun anyone. Mighty Joe does get dropped by Lou, and we're looking like SKELP have maybe taken the site. Might be able to get a plant down here.
SKELP full control, but the plant's way too near the choke point, especially with pressure out. Despite the hard wall being there, a spray will take him out and it will ruin the plan. 35 seconds left on the clock. Can't opt to rotate, but King has with a pinch here. It's beautifully played by Vex. It now just slows everything down for the plan. They can only force a B plant, but have to play off of the initiation. As time ticks down, the window for adjustment is closing. And that really is where Vex right now can play, but with a sole commitment towards here, at least the choke point through B onto C, it's just a terrible read. And now SKELP can afford to get a plant down and maybe make a 1v2 happen.
Yeah, that is a bad read from Vex. They're just not finding the... I guess they assumed that they were going to try and get that plant down on B. But it did allow SKELP to get... Sharpie to go and get that plant on A, just completely uncontested. Now in a 1v2, going to try catch them off guard. He's definitely heard them slip through, and he's found both of them. And manages to find both from the back.
That's
well
beautiful.
Played from Sharpie. That was really well played. Absolute clutch situation, and something that Vex should not have allowed to happen.
Oh, I know, but it just affords SKELP so much more time now. If Sharpie can afford to keep this coming and just have enough left in the locker to afford more of these moments, it will carry SKELP through this game comfortably. And it does show now the parameters that these guys have set, the abilities they have. It's a very wide open book of team cohesion and trust that they've instilled in this SKELP roster. But Vex just haven't had any good footing yet thus far. And we can blame it on the side. Of course, it is doable. Albeit on the defensive, you don't really want to afford too many mistakes, but the confidence could be waning thus far in this first half.
Yeah, and Lukey does actually have another operator, finds the kill onto Sweeney, who got the stun off. That is unfortunate for him.
5v4, 85 seconds left on the clock. Now at this point here, we are just sort of tilting towards the ideas of where this spot could go and the pressure applied. But Vex have spread the map lovely here, and albeit with that first blood drawn, it slows down the ideas of what SKELP can do. Albeit now, Petals has just been playing patiently here. Although the one check and the one peek will not come off, it could definitely have given the information away, but albeit the way they reinforced the rotation into back sight from number 3, it made it quite difficult there for Vex to get footing. Now SKELP got full control to spike down, despite having, at that point in time, mana's advantage.
That peak from Petals there was a really... And SKELP are just going to push into Garage, taking the offensive approach, but Lou manages to find those 2 kills, and it looks like we're actually heading into a 2v1 retake from Vex here. Zella holding the angle, finds one, potentially going to use Trailblazer or Guiding Light to blind, and find... No, doesn't quite catch it. Lou, still alive, searching. Will they find the kill? And Lou gets it. Will he have time to defuse? It's looking like there is enough time.
There's plenty
of time left.
That play in itself was quite difficult. Also had a dog as well. Also had a hound as well.
Yep.
So he had to risk quite a lot. But as soon as the hound was called in, then of course, we would potentially see Lou just speed up and just find a kill anyway, regardless. So it was one of those risk sort of plays, but did have plenty of utility to boot. And especially as well, I thought after that miss, it would be so hard to win that round because, the flash was perfect. The peak was timed, the shots were not landing, and therefore that really is sort of low probability of winning that round, just on the readjustment alone and just on the ability to reread. Because when you commit so much to one thing and then try and do another thing, you don't really successfully end up on the right side of the coin each time. But thus far, though, brand new round to really kick things off here. And still, we are looking at the advantage. But Lukey, quick early on, first blood drawn.
Yeah, gets that first kill on mid, just finding that kill in window. Looking like SKELP's Harbour just pushing down, using that cascade to take sewer. Just pushing up a little bit. Lou is going to use the drone to see if he can find any tags. Or is he not? He's thinking about it. Yeah, manages to get it, sends it off down long. Might actually end up catching SKELP's Harbour there. But King Hass going to pop some smokes down. Vex just playing nice and passively, nice and slow. Not playing too aggressive.
And that's important though, because when you're seeing lots of wall-to-wall playing like this now, they're just listening for audio cues. The sound of 1 footsteps and 3 footsteps at a time will always have the same sort of sense of urgency. No matter how much pressure there is, they're always going to react to it instantly. Sharpie, though, pushing through smoke though, does fall to King Hass via headshot. And still, despite the entire site being contested by the controllers, we are seeing Vex now just start to slowly claw their way back into this game. A 5v1, and there are 4 clean kills, all isolated as well, through Garage and through backside. They not only can hold this from the with an insurmountable amount of pressure and players. Sweeney, 23 seconds trying at least activate, but nope. Quad peak.
Quad peak.
Simply impressive.
Absolutely no chance for Sweeney to get out of that one alive. They did find quite a nice little one tap there, though, onto Lukey, which is unfortunate for him. But yeah, I think that attack from SKELP was just a bit too staggered. Jet dashed and then dry peeked through that smoke into Kingas's crosshair. Just finding the headshot there from Kingas. Yeah, unfortunate for SKELP. Just a bit of a, I don't know, they just didn't quite find the space on the site there.
Yeah,
really.
no, I agree. They couldn't really find good positioning, and the adjustments were just sort of like, they couldn't really make any moves. Let's play by the one angle they knew. Quickly, Lukey there finds a kill and dashes away through the hardball. Great sort of cohesion there from the controller and the duelist. Sharpie though, again, just trying to apply the pressure as well, but Vex are now all boxed in here. And looking at the push from Sands, SKELP can execute a wonderful push here. But the first blood, again, on this retake goes to Lu. Lu then can spot a second just to add to his tally. And with Lukey's crossfire with the op, it opens up A completely. But nobody really knows yet, despite that last kill, that Spike was nowhere near anyone. It was still left on A from the initial blood, so... Anyway, SKELP would try and at least get pressure again, was try and reclaim A and then go and play it up and back again, but ultimately, you know, it's still just very much a dogfight here in this game.
Despite Lukey finding that first pick on long with the op, SKELP decided to just kind of full send it A, and even with that mounting pressure, Lu pinned in the corner, he still manages to find 2 kills there.
Yeah.
That's kind of unbelievable they get away with it, setting up that crossfire with Lukey to get another op kill quite nicely there.
Oh, agreed, 100%. 100% agreed, that was a wise move. But, I mean, the sort of variations in attack here and the break-offs that we're seeing between the two teams, it really is going to be a hard-breathe thrive raw in this, what feels like chess match from VALORANT match. But Vex thus far, again, are just playing well. They're playing more to collapse inwards, hence why there's so much overload on both C and A.
Yeah.
Because even if they invite B, they have the abilities and the agents to take care of business. As Luca there again, with the cannon, just about takes out Gogs. First blood is drawn.
First blood is drawn, and we're looking at Trailblazers coming onto B just to check. They've got the plant down on, and I don't think Vex are even going to go for a retake here, maybe, unless they're going to collapse in on the last second, because both lockdowns are in play. The attackers won. Zella does find the kill on Lukey there, and we've got Hunter's Fury coming in. Breach stun, just everything to try and stop Vex from getting this defuse. But it's looking like they might actually be able to find it as they stick the half. Mighty Joe putting down a swarm to try and stop the plant. Manages to kill the diffuser. Lu. Not a lot of time left, but it's enough to find the win as Vex find another round on the board, bringing it to 5-6.
A very, very comfy round there. Although, in the last few moments, though, we did see a lot of desperation from both sides of the coin. But Vex, though, just about in the end, gets it through. Just about the wonderful play there from Mighty Joe. Got to say, though, 5-6 now, heading into the last round of the half. And what we thinking?
Considering that both... Yeah, I mean, economy-wise, both teams have a good loadout. We're looking at an op on the side of Vexed, and ults. It's actually quite surprising that Petals used their ult and they're still on 4 points. Vexed do have the Blade Storm ready for a push, and SKELP are looking probably to lock down a site using that Viper's Pit. They've also just picked up an orb, so they've got Harbor's Reckoning ready to take the site, and that's looking like exactly what's going to happen right now.
Still though, Has finds the first of the round, and we are seeing a full collapse to C here. And even so, the attacking side here are doing so well on the map as well, reclaiming C off the first break-off. And SKELP consistently throughout this map thus far in the first round have done so well at reclaiming sites despite the even advantage in numbers headbutting onto the point. Now though, Vexed, despite it all, have dwindled away. A 1v3 to tie things back into the picture, albeit now you can't really force any more out of SKELP. Done so well this round, and Lu is limited to so many options. From all 3 players, Lu is fenced in from all angles, and we go into the second half at 7-5.
Yeah, pressured from 3 people there at the end. Lu, not a lot of options, running out of time, just seeing if he can do anything, but just, yeah, they all collapse in on him at once, just to seal that 7-5 half. So what do you think is going to happen in this So when we flip perspectives, how do you think VEXED are going to approach this attacking half, considering how they played on the defense?
They like to take more gunfights and they actually like to use abilities and game map control. So you can probably see a lot of stagnance and a lot of tension on the first couple. As well, SKELP are up 2 rounds now at this point, and they're going to have a lot more pressure in this round to maintain that sort of standard. But they're also equally excited to actually get stuck in again because of how comfy they looked on the attacking side. The defensive side is going to be a bit of an adjustment. Their composition, though, does, as I mentioned at the start, tend to favour this sort of map in this sort of position.
Yeah, now we're looking to head straight into the first round with VEXED all grouped up on C long, sending in that recon bolt. Jet is dashing straight onto the site. We've got a smoke pop to the back. Harbour Walls coming in to split the site.
Still, it's enough. Look at this right here. Big old X onto C. 4 different zones now from an initial point. And looking at the way they planted it, they could try and hold it all the way from C long, but I don't really think that's just a wise decision. With the numbers advantage now still going into SKELP's favour, we're tied in at 3v4 here, and has with the initial peak can try and at least get more pressure added on. And despite the flashes, SKELP though are starting to dwindle away. A 2v1 now. VEXED finding more comfort, and Lou, one simple swing and one simple headshot will just edge away at that 2-round deficit now as we do head into the next.
VEXED Lou really just turning the round completely in their favour. That was looking like potentially an unwinnable situation for VEXED, but Lou finding those headshots just manages to carry the round through for VEXED, bring it to 6-7. And VEXED, Lou, with the money he's gained from getting those kills, is able to pick himself up a Vandal for this second round, which is going to put him at a massive advantage, hoping to probably continue his kill streak and just get more and more kills.
Let's see, as we do head into at least round number 13. Has to be at least a considerable effort now. The SKELP want to try and get through here. VEXED have already built the arsenal from the previous.
Yep.
And they look to just try and at least try and read the pressure off the rip here. And it's going to be so hard as well, as we do see so much before. The patience that SKELP can apply causes problems for VEXED. Albeit now, though, with that huge kill onto Gogs, they've opened up the south side of the map to a point where now the push can be enacted, the smokes can be placed, and they can take A comfortably. Again, VEXED now are showing SKELP their own medicine, claiming control of the sites in the attacking rounds and convincingly shoving them off of their defensive positioning.
Yeah, and I think VEXED have played this very well, just making sure that they take a through long, not having to push down to sewer, where SKELP would have the advantage of those closer range weapons. SKELP taking that last peek. Now Sharpie's going to try and take the site, but no, absolutely no chance, as Luca is just holding the angle. Ready for him with that headshot lined up. 7-7 on the board. We've equalised now, as SKELP now have the advantage. With their rifle round, again, they are on light armour, just like the other team were on the first half. VEXED guns in their arsenal. They've got a Vandal in the hands of Lou still. They've also got another rifle. They've got a Bulldog. But they've also got a couple Stingers as well and a Sheriff. However, the most interesting buy here is Sharpie, who's gone Operator, running the glass cannon approach, no armor but an Operator, to see if they can take this round from VEXED.
It's a bold strategy this early on, but it might be the deal breaker here between these two teams. We're at 7-7, these big risk plays might pay off. Luca there does get dropped. Ludo trades it off straight away here. A 4v4, but full side control will go to VEXED. Now we're seeing SKELP just start to pinch the map, pinch from C to A, and just at least acclimate their way forward onto the site. The smokes though keep them at bay from the west side of the map. Now we're just sort of viewing how can VEXED plan around it.
Yes, they've just maintained that pressure by pushing through into A-Link, making sure that they've got a little bit more map control rather than just mid. But Lou, pushing through, manages to find one more kill, and it looks like Mighty Joe's going to even push him, but he does find the kill on Mighty Joe. Sharpie sadly misses that op shot, and he's left in a 1v2.
And it's with no cigar. They can run over and grab the op, and they can just ensure so much more into the next few rounds. So that economy, like we talked about, the glass cannon approach did not tend to favour. So now we're looking at the long-term prospects. We're looking at what can SKELP do. Well, the answer is VEXED have essentially bought themselves so much more time with so many more rounds to go.
It's a risky play because you kind of hope that when the attackers are on a slightly lower economy, when they've got those SMGs, you think if they go long, that Operator might be there. So for them to take that chance it could pay off massively, but sadly it didn't get the opportunity. And now SKELP are at a massive disadvantage again heading into the 4th round of this half.
But still, though, it does, with this advantage, it does warrant aggressive plays, you know, just to sort of get the false confidence, the imposter syndrome of Valorant kicks in really early at this point. But albeit the way that Vex play this one, they already know from Lou's drone that they've started to push up through A. SKELP are starting to just sort of diagonalize the map, if you will, try and pinch everyone from Vex into one key focal point. And if the kills are made, it makes it so much easier to complete. The one thing separating them, of course, is the Aftershock, is the Viper wall, and the early push. That flash there was so well timed, and Lukey there converts. But still, the 4v4, only the advantage, though, favours SKELP by a small margin. The spike will go down, plenty of time to spare. SKELP, though, just have to try now, at least at this point, win the isolated doors. If they can isolate them, the map is so well sectioned from these walls.
Yeah, they're going to have to utilise the rest of Harbour's util, potentially the Cascade, but no, he does get dropped by Luca. Kingas just holding Garage, Mighty Joe coming in for a potential flank for SKELP. This might be able to, they might be able to pincer it. Says Mighty Joe does find the kill, and Zello has picked up the stinger. Does get dropped by Lukey, leaving Mighty Joe in a 1v3. However, they do get dropped, and Vex secure another round on the board for themselves.
Very impressive one too. I'd give it a full 5-course star meal kind of thing. But the way that Vex have managed, at least these last 2 rounds where it was tied 7-7, just to take a comfortable lead and really punish SKELP for every mistake they make, whether it be on an economical standpoint or just in a simple and disciplined play, they have punished them. And at round robin at this stage, we've had a tournament set to progress and develop. These behaviours will be addressed early on by SKELP in the tournament, because we both expect these teams here to have some impact and go far, because they are both of them have got such good organisations behind them and such good team chemistry and environment that they can carry on to keep going forward in Epic 40.
And this is a bit of a pivotal round here, as now both teams have a full buy. But with SKELP, their economy is on the back foot. So if they don't manage to find this round, their economy is going to be looking dire. And we're going to look at another couple rounds probably towards Vex here.
Albeit though, Sharpie there could be the real focal point of this entire round, but still, despite a single trade, there's nothing really to dent the man disadvantage that Vex are facing in this round. 68 seconds left on the clock, but still, with plenty to boot, 2 flashes here is still in the back pocket of Vex, and with the smoke and with the timing, they are forcing gunfights early, but with the spike going down and a Viper Cloud going online, Lukey is playing so close to the wire. That right there trades it now. The 1v3 is on. Lukey is playing with every bit of intent to try and get this round done. The spike is planted. Lukey is playing for clears, but Sweeney cancels out any hope of a clutch. And now SKELP get a round back on the board.
Lukey with a brilliant opportunity to take another point on the board for Vex there. Just finding that double kill out of the Viper smoke. But unfortunately, Sweeney had that angle on him. Just managed to get that headshot just to secure the round. SKELP are back in the game. However, they did lose 4 of their 5 guns, which means their economy is still a little bit of a dire situation. We've still got 3 light shields on the board for that team.
And it's definitely an impactful sort of environment that they are creating. I'd like to say the Vex have managed to sort of get the momentum going, but still, with all the first 3 rounds from bonus to buy, SKELP have now bought an insurance ticket to get through the next portion of the game, which is wonderful. It could be a very tough round, this first opening engagement, but thus far again, SKELP looking for a lot more comfort on that side, and Sharpie there again gets one through middle on a wonderful little flick.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to actually be pushing up onto A site, which has been left exposed. SKELP Esports have completely left the site abandoned, and Lukey is potentially able to take that back site. However, SKELP are regrouping. It looks like the Jet is going to take Heaven position, and the rest of the team are prepared to retake site here.
Still though, again, it's a nice staggered push though. SKELP want to play the timings perfectly, and Lukey here has got all the means to time these plays, but look at the sweep. 4 in the feed. Only Mighty Joe can find someone from the side of Vex, but it's 10-8 now. We're really getting into the dark waters. We're treading deep in this game.
I think that was a bit of an over-rotation from SKELP there. We're finding that initial first blood over by B Garage. I think they sort of over-rotated, thinking that maybe the team are going to be looking for another C hit, but a complete fake, and the rest of Vex were ready to just completely take that A site that they left abandoned, and that was their big mistake. Impressive.
I have to give it an absolute hats-off moment, because now Vex are in double digits for the first time. But still, with all this insurance policy they have, with their economy, with their ults online as well, I just think right now it will be a battle of who plays what first. This is where the chessboard really starts to shuffle a little bit.
Ult management is going to be really crucial here. With a lockdown and a reckoning in the hands of SKELP, they're probably going to have to use these for a retake. So we might be looking at SKELP trying to back off the site and not play as proactively, but you know, as a response, they're going to have to use these ults in response to whatever Vex do, hopefully trying to maybe bait out that Rolling Thunder to then use their ults as a retake counter.
SKELP though, just playing it as all needs to be, slowing down the pacing and definitely giving enough time here to really figure out. They've only spent 33 seconds really in the round properly engaging in combat. Right now it's just been this rotation. They're trying to beat the clock down to the point where they force SKELP into this advantage, and then it looks like they're going to try and hit him with full throttle.
Yeah, so we're looking like Vex are actually kind of grouping up outside. They're using the drone just to scout out onto A long here. SKELP have positioned their Sky in the little pocket on A. Might be able to find that kill with the frenzy there. As Vex are just approaching that A site. Using the Rolling Thunder to initiate, doesn't actually catch Zella, who's able to find not a single kill, but Luki pushing in, managing to take that backside space. However, SKELP have popped down their lockdown to see if they can try and defend, but it's absolutely no use as Vex take entire map control there and just dominate the site, really.
Good tactic as well. They actually counted the clock so much to the point where SKELP actually started to get really uncomfortable, to the point where they didn't feel natural, because I think the majority of the last several rounds has been debated with early gunfights, or at least early pressure. These guys like to meet head on, and they really enjoy a good fist fight. But so far, you know, when you see the tactics switch the way it has, Vex really tend to have a good footing for reading the last portion, the last third of the round, and it resulted there and again in the wonderful wiping of round back. But still, though, the 3 gap difference and Vex 2 away from converting this map. We're looking now into real crunch territory here for SKELP Esports.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to see Vex just sort of playing that more passive, like, default approach to the map. A spike has just been left in mid. They're just going to eke out, just see where people are. I think they're aware that SKELP have 3 ults in their possession, so they're just going to try play a bit more passively, wait down the timer, and see what's the best place to hit. And as they've found that Harbour has used his high tide just to cut off Garage and cut off B, I think they're aware of where his presence is, and they're going to start using this drone to scout out into A and see if they pushed up.
There for Luki, but nice little pinstripe in the kill feed there, just to exacerbate the numbers and give Vex their advantage. Only by 1. 45 seconds left on the clock, though. The SKELP are just still kind of figuring out the positioning and how much pressure they can apply across the map, because the way Vex have dominated these gunfights, they have to clear everything. They have to check every corner. They've got pretty much no room for error, and it does buy more time for Vex to play faster and reward them in these sort of crunch time moments.
And they are aware that the Viper might not actually be on that site. It looks like they haven't even actually fully cleared that C backside, but they don't need to, as they do get that spike down, and it looks like SKELP are in a retake situation. They've used the Reckoning to clear out the site, not finding any. But Vex, it doesn't matter as Vex find those kills, and Sweeney gets dropped, sending Vex to match point.
It's wonderful. 12-8, which is at least a good start. I would have given him a lot of time though, just to really breathe through and take control. Vex have just managed it well. They've done so well from the get-go, but they've won every important round thus far. Although SKELP have looked very clinical in the first couple, even had some flashy moments to boot. Vex have played much more composed Valorant, and the right people are getting the right amount of pressure, kills, and coverage. The communication probably hasn't changed a bit since they were losing or winning this map. They were constantly in a good mental space, ready to communicate effectively and coordinate plays.
It's looking like Vex are actually just going to full send this A. They're heading straight down long, absolutely no stopping. They might get off by, I don't know, the Harbour util might be a little threatening to them. But it's looking like they are just going to keep up this pressure, just keep their presence outside on A long, as well as Petals and the Omen, just making sure that Garage is contested. They know that they're there, and they're just going to make sure that that's not somewhere that SKELP are able to flank from, as they're rotating their teammates back towards A for a hit.
Looking at the way SKELP are right now, I mean, it's just a complete parallel universe. You could put a mirror in between the bottom left-hand corner of the map and A, and they're reflecting the exact same sort of setup. All 5 players now are starting to slowly shuffle their way onto A. SKELP have now just started to coordinate and read properly in this one, but albeit with that wall going down and that's Omen's TP up top, it buys enough pressure. No real read, but Gog's just about just in time. Spots King has had the TP committed to the play. And now VEXED now, player down. Have to read clearly, have to listen carefully. As Lukey will not get the kill on Joe and just reinforces SKELP's front line offense here. As now they swarm the site. VEXED dropping like flies. And SKELP have purchased so much time with so little effort, but Luca just about squeezed his way. Only for SKELP to get the defuse in the end.
Luca finding those 2 kills at the end there was fantastic for them, but SKELP having to invest 2 ults to retake the lockdown and the Seekers to retake that site. However, with the buy that they only had Guardians and light armor going up against those Vandals. Really well played from SKELP there. Beautiful retake.
Well, definitely, I fully agree 100% with that sort of analogy. I would have to give a complete consensus though. That SKELP at this point now are on thin ice. They have to buy everything for every single round, and VEXED are only 1 away, so they can do whatever they like. The ult economy as well, though, I think you can mention it as well, is quite hair-raising when you're looking at both teams.
Yeah, it's looking like VEXED are going to have a really good opportunity to seal the deal and finish the match if they get another ult point for Luca, who's going to be able to full send that Rolling Thunder onto a site. Maybe contest whatever SKELP have in plan. SKELP do have a Viper's Pit up their sleeve though, which is something that VEXED are very aware of and they're going to need to definitely play around from. They've got B site. They've taken it so fast. Luca managing to get that plant down already.
Trades come in though, 1 apiece, but still control of the side goes towards VEXED's favour. Has a Rolling Thunder as well, but that breach can only use it one side of the coin, to which the kills are found on the other. It's a great conversion and a wonderful piece of teamwork, which buys VEXED an infinite amount of opportunities here to try and close this round out as well. 4v2 dwindling away. We're now in the 3v1. The paranoia stops any push that Zila might have. Although the flash will come in, the swing will be there. 1 kill is found. 2 more to go. Time is ticking away. When it's just 1 player against 2, Zila has to do it all. That Molotov, though, just might be the defining factor. There's nothing more Zila can do. And VEXED walk away 13-9. This was one for the ages.
That was a fantastic match there between SKELP and VEXED. I think VEXED played really, really, really well there. Honestly, there's some fantastic plays from VEXED.
It's good enough, and I think in terms of VEXED and their sort of comeback in this particular map, they applied the right sorts of information at the right time. But the way they had it from the first get-go was beautiful. But don't worry, after this match as well, we do have Hello Kittens versus Confetti Cats. It's a feline matchup you don't want to miss. Stay tuned.